Look, ladies, I know this isn't fair, but we're all always running against the worst cliche of who people think we are. Women Democrats can't look oversensitive or preachy or unable to laugh at themselves. They also can't look silly, like Gretchen Whitmer did, trying to hide in the Oval Office. They have to look brave and strong. It wasn't a good look for the woman party that all the guys were speaking out for Jimmy Kimmel when Trump went after him, except on the woman show, where for 5 days the outspoken hosts were suddenly as quiet as a geisha.
Bill Maher has turned his attention to a new target: the women of the Democratic Party, whom he believes have played a key role in pushing the party deeper into what he sees as extreme woke culture. After years of holding back, Maher has decided to speak out with sharp, unapologetic criticism. He's done with sugarcoating and polite jabs. His latest remarks take aim directly at what he views as the party's drift into performative politics, sparking heated debate across the spectrum.
Of all the ways America continues to divide itself, nowhere is it more pronounced than in gender. And until the Democrats come to grips with that, they won't have much success winning elections. Let's just put it out there. Women are the Democrats' base, and men who get hit in the head for a living are Trump's. They're the bro party, the party of car shows on the White House lawn and breaking shit and seeing what happens and busting bull. It's been that way for a long time. The mommy party and the daddy party, the party of pussy hats and the party of truck nuts.
Before criticizing Democratic women, Bill Maher laid the groundwork with his usual sharp clarity. He contrasted Democrats and Republicans, claiming the left has grown too timid, constantly appeasing fringe voices and afraid to offend. Republicans, he argued, may have flaws, but they show strength by standing firm. This, Maher said, is why many in the political center are shifting right, not because of policy but because of perceived courage. And just when it seemed he was done, Maher took it even further.
But that divide is on steroids now and getting worse. In the 24 election, young men preferred Trump by 2 points, and young women, Kamala, by 24. The only way Trump can appeal to women 18 to 39 is making him one of his lawyers. Men and women can barely date anymore because they can't stomach each other's politics. That's why everyone is gay now. We're just done with each other. If you don't believe me, ask yourself, what podcasts do I listen to? Trump bros have 50,000 of them about politics and protein powder. While in the woman's sphere, the podcasts are all about balancing career and motherhood.
Dating today has become a battlefield, and politics is the landmine. What once focused on chemistry now feels like a loyalty test to a rigid narrative. According to critics like Maher, it's not a bipartisan problem. It's largely driven by hyper-woke culture on the left, where differing opinions are seen as deal-breakers. Romance is replaced by ideological screening, attraction by political alignment. The result? A dating scene driven more by outrage and hashtags than genuine human connection or open-mindedness.
Here's a mind-blowing stat about the divide. 73% of boomer men disagreed with the statement, mental health challenges are an important part of my identity. 72% of Gen Z women said the opposite. They agreed mental health challenges are an important part of my identity. Okay, let's say it all together. Women are better than men. They're smarter and kinder and make way better firefighters. But I'm never moving past it isn't really the campaign slogan we're looking for. I'm sorry, Democratic women, but this is your party. You have a special responsibility to look tough. Senator Alyssa Slotkin seems to get that, and not just because of her service in Iraq and with the CIA, but because she says things like, Democrats need to take the flag. Democrats have to stop being weak and woke, she said.
Slotkin nailed it. The Democratic Party has become too weak and too woke, even for its own base. Instead of focusing on real issues that impact everyday Americans, the DNC now caters to fringe ideologies, sidelining common sense. What was once the party of the working class has shifted toward performative politics and virtue signaling. In doing so, it's alienating longtime supporters. Slotkin didn't just criticize. She highlighted a harsh truth. The party's obsession with wokeness is eroding its core.
Because no one's holding women back anymore. In many ways, they're leaving men in the dust. Women are much less likely to be unemployed now, less likely to blow a month's pay on DraftKings. And much more likely to complete college. America now has 14 million women-owned businesses, which generate $2.7 trillion in revenue. Yeah, women launch.
This is the inconvenient truth the DNC doesn't want to spotlight. Women in America are thriving. Despite the constant narrative of victimhood pushed by the left, the data shows women are succeeding across the board, outperforming men in education, launching businesses in record numbers, and leading in media, politics, and culture. Yet the Democratic Party clings to grievance politics, insisting women remain oppressed. Why? Because acknowledging this progress would dismantle one of their core messages. The reality is clear. Women aren't losing, they're winning, and the numbers prove it.
Women launched 49% of all new businesses in 2024, and the number of Black women-owned businesses outpaced the growth rates of every other demographic. I'm spitting facts.
These facts strike at the heart of the left's narrative. While Democrats often lean on race and identity politics to paint America as deeply oppressive, the rise of Black women entrepreneurs tells a different story. They're starting businesses at historic rates, defying the constant message of marginalization. This real, measurable progress challenges the victimhood narrative and exposes a disconnect between the rhetoric and reality. America is evolving, barriers are breaking, and opportunity is growing. Something worth celebrating, no matter your political stance.
In the Barbie movie, when she storms into the Mattel boardroom, it's 12 people, all men. But Mattel is a real company, and in 2023, their boardroom was actually 6 men and 5 women. Perpetuating victimhood, especially when it's false, is not a great advertisement for leadership. Kamala Harris's new memoir of the 24 election is called 107 Days, but it should have been called Everyone Sucks But Me.
In her new book, Kamala Harris sticks to a familiar script: deflect and deny. Instead of taking responsibility for her missteps, she blames others: Joe Biden for being out of touch, the Democratic Party for not backing her early, and even floats Pete Buttigieg as a better running mate than Tim Walz. It's classic Kamala. When things go wrong, the fault lies everywhere but with her. What's framed as reflection feels more like revisionist history, packed with excuses and short on accountability.
107 Days is a victim's title because, get it, she only had 107 days to win. Yeah, and $1.5 billion, and a built-in army of about 75 million people who'd vote for any human-adjacent life form that wasn't Trump. But in 107 days, nothing is ever Kamala's fault. Biden lets her down by not stepping down sooner. Pouty face emoji. Gavin Newsom, he was asked for his endorsement, but texted, "Hiking, we'll call back." But then never did. And then he didn't even ask her to prom.
That's the signature move of modern wokeness. Blame everyone else while claiming victimhood. It's a mindset that rejects personal responsibility in favor of systemic scapegoating. When people face homelessness, the focus shifts away from root causes like addiction or mental health, and instead targets capitalism, the government, or society at large. The result? Policies that enable, not solve, tents handed out, laws protecting sidewalk encampments, and a refusal to enforce order. This isn't compassion. It's performative complacency. True empathy means tough love and real solutions, not keeping people trapped in crisis just to appear morally superior.
America itself lets Kamala down by not being ready for the running mate she really wanted, Pete Buttigieg. So she's stuck with the Home Depot paint salesman. And the rest is herstory. Poor Kamala. We made her the star of a rom-com and didn't even give her a gay best friend. Kamala writes that on election night, when it was clear she lost, an aide peeled the words "Madam President" off the cupcakes before handing them out. Oh, geez, that's like a scene from Bridget Jones Runs for President.
Kamala Harris didn't lose because of bias. She lost because voters saw through the facade. Her tenure as vice president was marked by failure, particularly on the border crisis, where she avoided responsibility and offered no real solutions. Her public appearances were riddled with vague, confusing answers and awkward laughter, making her seem unprepared and insincere. Her speeches felt scripted, her messaging overly focused on identity politics rather than practical change. Moderates tuned out. Her approval ratings sank. In the end, it wasn't circumstance that sank her. It was a lack of vision, leadership, and genuine connection with everyday Americans.
Look, ladies, I know this isn't fair, but we're all always running against the worst cliche of who people think we are. Women Democrats can't look oversensitive or preachy or unable to laugh at themselves. They also can't look silly, like Gretchen Whitmer did, trying to hide in the Oval Office. They have to look brave and strong. It wasn't a good look for the woman party that all the guys were speaking out for Jimmy Kimmel when Trump went after him, except on the Woman Show, where for 5 days the outspoken hosts were suddenly as quiet as a geisha. Then on the 5th day, they rose and said, "No one silences us." No one had to. You silenced yourself.
I covered this in a previous video, but here's the quick recap. When Jimmy Kimmel got suspended, The View went completely silent for 5 days. No comments, no mentions, just dead air. Why? Fear. The hosts were clearly spooked, worried they might be next in line. But once it was announced that Kimmel's show would return, they suddenly found their voices again, full of opinions and fake confidence. Bill Maher wasn't buying it. He called them out as cowards, all bark and no backbone. It's the usual act. Performative bravery when it's safe, but silence when it really counts.
Whoopi Goldberg continued, "Did you all really think we weren't going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel? No, I thought you would, but then you didn't." 5 days? Talk about needing extra time to get ready. And if you can't take a breath and laugh at that, you're making my point.
Bill Maher's latest rant is more than noise. It's a wake-up call for the Democratic Party. He holds up a mirror showing a party hollowed out by wokeness, avoiding accountability, and obsessed with identity politics instead of real progress. From Kamala's blame game to The View's selective silence and the DNC's pandering to radicals, Maher voices what many liberals fear to say. His message: stop whining, grow a backbone, lead with strength, or keep losing to those you mock. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit notifications for more.